Does Trevor Lawrence deserve to be the highest paid QB in the NFL? Drop it in your chat below. Everybody out there, drop it in the chat. Does Trevor Lawrence deserve to be the highest paid QB in the NFL? Per dollar per year is what it is. He is the highest right now over everybody else. Him and Burrow, I believe, are right there.
Neck and neck.
So
deserve, no. I'm gonna kick it off. Deserve, no. You know, I'll come on this show all the time. I say the market is the market, and the quarterback market is at a point where it's kind of ridiculous, though, where you can be average and become the highest paid quarterback in the league because there's such a shortage of good quarterbacks or great quarterbacks in the league that if you have just an average quarterback that's just decent, you find you gotta invest in him all the way because that's how bad the overall landscape of the quarterback play is right now. Number one. Number two, though, this man is has a record of 20-30, a losing record in his career. He's won one playoff game, one in which, let's keep it real, they should have lost. The Chargers choked and gave it to him. They were down by like 21 plus points, I think, at one point in time. 58 touchdowns, 39 interceptions, cool. We understand, you know, he's dealt with multiple coaches. I'm not putting it all on Trevor Lawrence, but when you watch the tape, even if you're a Jaguars fan, there's no way in hell that you watch the tape, you watch the wins, the lack thereof, and you just feel 100% confident that this is the quarterback of your future.
Let me ask you a question.
I don't. Not even trying to be funny. Not trying to go at D Jones. I got a feeling he's going to come in the chat and say something crazy and think I'm trying to take a shot. This is not even no jokes at all. If this was my quarterback, I would not feel – if somebody came in and said, you know what, let's pay AR5 right now, 5 years. I'm like, nah. Like we haven't seen enough. And I still don't think we've seen enough in Trevor Lawrence to pay him this amount, to make him the highest paid, the best in the league. Nah, man, I don't know. Like, I understand the market is the market, and you know, you got like he was going to get paid. It was inevitable. He was going to get paid. But I wish they could have been a little bit more creative with the contract to where he was like a middle of the pack, you know, level instead of putting him at the top of the level with Joe Burrow and where Mahomes is at, and right, like he should not be in that conversation at all. But that's what it is, JB. What can you do?
Listen, here's what it is. Quarterback marketplace. It's hard to explain this to the casual out here because you don't understand. The quarterback as a totality in the NFL is below mid as a total. You have these outliers that are really good, and you have a bunch of below mid performers. I'm just going to be honest. The below mid performer has set the marketplace, not the upper echelon guy. I don't know if you guys have realized it or have seen the trends in the last few years. So I got to ask you a question to this same take. In a year from now, we'll be talking about Dak Prescott, whether he signs a deal or not. His deal, if he does sign, will shatter this one. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to shatter this one.
It always.
And then CJ Stroud, CJ will sign again in a couple of years. His will shatter that.
It'll keep going, JB.
CJ's year this year is going to be a huge determinant on what he ends up setting the marketplace. CJ will probably be the highest paid at the end of the day because of his first ridiculous rookie year. But remember, it's going to come down to this sophomore year, in my opinion, that sets his stage for the big deal contract. But in a year from now on this show, are you going to have that same energy about Dak? Because listen, Trevor, we can argue, was drafted into a far worse situation than Dak. He had to deal with a college coach for a year. He had a couple slumps, had a little height spike in the NFL. People saw that the number one overall pick capabilities, and then they choke off a 28-point lead against the Chargers or whatever. Then last year he comes back down to earth, and then now he gets a deal. Seems like that's the trend in the NFL. Tua's the same way, trending the same way. Jalen Hurts just got paid. And if we're looking at this draft class, Smitty, the 2021 draft class, in my opinion, this year's class that just occurred in April and this 21 class could go down as the two worst quarterback classes in my generation. Right now, though, the 21 class, Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, Mac Jones, and Trey Lance. So
not looking good.
One of those 4 had to be paid. One of those 4 first-round guys was going to get paid, and obviously it's the one that's playing right now.
Right.
So, listen, mediocrity is the new excellence, dog. I mean, it is what it is. I'm just being honest. Justin Fields, statistically speaking, is very comparable to Trevor Lawrence all the way around. More rushing yards, more rushing touchdowns, obviously, for Justin.
Yeah.
The same amount of starts. Now, Justin will take a back seat because he's going to go probably back up Russell Wilson for a year. But if we're really just talking statistics, which I hate, on a much worse franchise right now than Chicago Bears with less weapons. He didn't have ETN. He didn't have those wideouts, Ridley and those guys. He didn't have Zay and all these guys. Would you pay? Are you paying Justin Fields next? Because is he going to be the guy that gets fucked with all these guys?
No, he's not getting paid because Justin hasn't. The thing about Justin, he hasn't won at all. At least with Trevor, again, he had the 1 year where they made the playoffs, came back against the Chargers. You always say how they were a couple plays away from beating the Chiefs. So that's really this one season where I think the Jaguars organization and their fan base are holding on to with that's what we can be. So they're paying him based upon that season, in my opinion, because other than that, he hasn't really done anything. Again, a record of 20 and 30. Forget stats. Let's look at wins and losses. That's what matters the most. To me, winning and losing is a quarterback statistic, and he has a losing record to this point. You bring up Dak Prescott and ask me would I feel the same way about Dak next year when it's his time to get paid. I mean, I don't think I would because, again, listen, technically speaking, if you're not the best quarterback in the league, then yeah, you don't deserve to be paid like the best. But we know that's not exactly how it works. But at least with Dak, we can say what he wanted about in the playoffs. But the guy, first of all, he makes the playoffs every single season. Number one. Number two, he's either number one or second in the division. It seems like every single year, winning double-digit games. I mean, the last 2 years, I think they're 24 and 10. He's won more games the last 2 years than Trevor Lawrence has done in the totality of his short career so far. So I just it's hard to compare Trevor Lawrence to Dak because, okay, we can talk about the lack of success in the playoffs, but at least Dak is there. Trevor, the Jaguars was leading the AFC South, clear-cut favorites last year. We got 2 rookie quarterbacks in the division, and AR5 and CJ Stroud and shit damn near. I think with the Titans, you had Will Levis playing a lot. That quarterback situation was kind of weird last year. So everybody named Mama thought the Jaguars was going to win the division, and they laid an egg again and fucking lost and missed the playoffs and let a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach beat them in the AFC South and win it. So I just don't understand, what are we seeing from the Jaguars? What are we seeing from Trevor Lawrence on a consistent level, consistent basis that's telling you guys that this is our quarterback? Has he shown flashes? Of course. Is he super talented? Of course. He was like Caleb Williams in terms of how the praise he was getting coming out of Clemson. People were trying to figure out a way to change the rules so he didn't have to stay in college for 3 years. He could come out after his sophomore year and this, that, and the third. He was a big deal, but he has not lived up to the hype at all. And that's not dissing him at all. That's just it's a literal fact. D Jones, you're such a fan that you can't see past your fandom. You cannot sit here and tell me with confidence that Trevor Lawrence has played to his potential. Come on, bro. That don't make sense. Just keep it real.
I don't agree, only because.
So hold on real quick. So you're saying he deserves this money then? This is weird.
No,
this is crazy.
No, I don't.
Okay, we do agree then.
Yeah, but deserving the money is what we talk about on this show all the time. I don't think any of them deserve it. I'm the only one on this show that sticks to those guns every day. None of these cats deserve it.
If that's the belief, you should have asked this question then. So it's a pointless question because if you think nobody deserves it, then there's no conversation, nothing to even talk about.
No, the question is, should he be the highest paid in the NFL? That is what he is, and that's what the question was. It's not about should he have got the money. It's should he be the highest paid?
Okay, should he be the highest paid then? Answer that question.
So that is the question, and we already know that's a no. I mean, we agree then. That. But here's the point is, though, that all these dudes, I try to tell y'all, you keep making jokes and shit, but the mediocrity is the new excellence in the NFL at quarterback position. I'm just telling you. And we're going to continue to see a heightened salary cap because of the quarterback position. They'll never do separate caps, which we've talked about on this show, but you're going to continue to have an increase in salary cap for the rosters because of the quarterback position being so godly high. And I think it's ruining the position, and I think it's ruining the game in the NFL at the NFL level, only because of more demanded trades, more enabled thinking by player empowerment to where people think they can go get this money when they see these guys get these absorbent amounts of money. And that's what I truly believe. I'm just be honest. Trevor Lawrence has a skill set of a top 10 guy. No question.
Yeah, for sure.
Throw every ball, make every throw. He makes big-time throws. Like, he has the number one draft pick capabilities.
Yeah, he does.
But see, I'm the same way when I talk about Daniel Jones, so I'm going to keep the same energy with Trevor Lawrence. And I have to be real. He hasn't been around the greatest of situations, just like all these guys I discuss all the time. We talk about, by the way, people don't realize Sam Darnold is very, very close to this skill set.
Yeah.
We just haven't seen it.
But JB,
there's a difference.
There's a lot of quarterbacks in the NFL who has an amazing skill set, but how does that translate to the football field? How does that, so much of football in general, especially the QB position, isn't just about skill set. It's about intangible. It's about decision making. It's about reflexes, instinct, being able to read the defense, being able to know your checks, being able to get the ball out on time. It's not, if it was a conversation of who's the best 7-on-7 quarterback with no pressure, none of that, then yeah, maybe the quarterbacks would be different. Brady wouldn't be the GOAT. It'd be a whole other conversation. But football has so much more to do with that. And I just think when I'm watching Trevor Lawrence play, when I'm watching, Sam Darnold play to this point, it's that side of it. It's never been a talent conversation. It's just you're not making proper decisions. You're not making big plays in big moments. You're not being the leaders of the franchise. And yes, I understand he's been in a bad situation, but typically when you are a top quarterback, a number one overall draft pick, or even a top 5 quarterback, you're being drafted to a bad situation, and they're counting on you to be the savior. That's what it is. And that's why you get paid highest paid money. You know what I'm saying? Like, two things can't be true in this situation. You can't be the number one highest paid quarterback in the league, and then we also give you an excuse to say, well, it's been tough for him. No, well, he's getting paid for that toughness. Now get them out of it.